Good morning. Hello. We've got it's great to have two people with us. Welcome to Storyhouse.
Actually,
do say hello. I'm Lizzie, this is Dave, we've got Pete and Libby, and we've got the wonderful Ruth there. It's great to have everyone with us this morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Storyhouse Church. Ruth was brought in last minute, so she's looking fresh faced considering we only just checked that she wanted to come online. No warning at all. So yeah, she's amazing. She's a natural though, so it's also
I made the mistake.
Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, there we go.
She made the mistake of joining the prayer meeting, and because she's sharing her story later. And anyway, but she does join us midweek. So there isn't just this part of our church. There is also a great opportunity midweek to connect, and we do connect quite broadly across the city. So do come and join us for something. But we're really glad you're with us this morning. There we go.
There we go. That's a good plug to get joined in the community. You just go to storyhouse.community/connect, fill out that there form, and someone will be in touch.
And so we can meet up for a coffee and do, like, we've got midweek church. Last week, oh my goodness, our prayer meeting. I know it sounds weird to be excited by a prayer meeting.
Hey, Ruth's back.
Oh, Ruth's back. Ruth's back. We said that, Ruth, we were saying that you came to the prayer meeting. You came to pray this morning, and then then you got pulled in to go live. So don't let that put you off praying before church. But it's very good. I think she's frozen again.
Frozen again.
But last week, last week, cafe, yeah.
Yeah, so last week we have a monthly prayer and worship, and so last week we did hybrid prayer and worship.
Wow!
So we had a few of us in the cafe, fired up the coffee machine, got the flat whites and the lattes going, and then we linked up to Zoom. So we had a camera on us, on a group of us there upstairs, then the camera. And we had Zoom, and we projected Zoom onto the wall, and then we had loads of other faces joining us.
Dave, you're in your technical element.
I was.
Oh, Ruth's back now.
We've got Ruth back.
Hello, Ruth.
Come a chameleon.
Talking about technical element. Ruth, can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey. Yes. Yeah, I've been able to hear you.
Yeah.
I've been able to hear you longer than you can hear me, I think.
Well,
got our first good morning.
No, it's fine. It's definitely my end.
Hi Anne, nice to have you with us. We also we've got the service this morning, but we are meeting for a picnic in a field at 1:00, weather permitting. I think it's going to be okay.
We're going ahead with it, whether or not. Like right now.
Yeah, we're bringing a gazebo. Last time we had to go back to get the gazebo as it was too hot for everybody, too hot to handle. But today we might be bringing it to keep dry. So this gazebo was bought in faith of an opportunity of going when we were only allowed to see people outside.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then of course the rules changed, and we were left with this giant gazebo going, oh, this was a bit of a waste. But we have been using it a lot. So each time it comes out, it decreases in value or cost.
It's well ventilated.
Very well ventilated. It has no sides. It's
a
vented space.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. Ruth has been to a couple of picnics. Ruth, would you recommend people to come to a Storyhouse picnic? Yes, that was definitely a nod. Unfortunately,
it's great fun.
And Ruth has catered for the entire picnic in previous picnics with her baking, but unfortunately she can't come today. But sadly, we will not be eating brownies and cookies made by Ruth. But do bring, if you're baking, bring extra.
Well, we're going to Sainsbury's to get all of our stuff because we got back from camping and had no supplies.
We've had such a good week.
Yeah, we've had a good week away, but we have got no food in the house. So we will be going from this broadcast via Crosby's very own.
I can see us buying those little couscous.
Yes.
You know, that kind of
classy.
Nonsense. It's like,
if you actually buy what you want for a picnic specifically, it's different food, isn't it? If you just use what's in your house. So anyway. But do we have a question, Dave?
We do. Yeah, we want to get the conversation flowing. So this whole summer we're doing a summer of storytelling. So we're hearing people's stories. Today, excitingly, we're going to hear the story of Ruth and Nigel later, which we pre-recorded. And we're going to look at the using the tools of great storytelling on our own lives. Today we're going to be looking at the cast in the play of our lives, all the people around us. So to get warmed up into that idea, we want to know who would be at your ultimate cast party. So this is basically saying, who would you love to meet? Whether that's living or dead, fictional or real, who are the people that you would love to meet? And it doesn't have to just be one person, you can have loads because it's a cast party. So who have you ever dreamt of meeting, hanging out with at a party, picking their brains? Good
question. Shall I start? Because we were saying it's quite hard to
get the juices.
You guys have a whole week to think about it.
I wouldn't say quite a week. So I've got Brené Brown. I'd like to hang out with Brené.
So for the non-Brené fans, like people who don't know who that is, Liz.
So Brené Brown is a sociologist, a researcher, and she's written some amazing books all about kind of vulnerability and courage and leadership, and she's just really cool. Do check out her TED Talks. But yeah, she's awesome. I'd also culturally relevant like to meet Ted Lasso. From we don't have Apple TV, but we got a free week free week of it to watch Ted Lasso, which is an amazing sitcom about an American football player, football coach who comes to the UK to coach a football team, and he doesn't know anything about football, but it's brilliant, amazingly positive. Ted Lasso. And then I'd like to meet the cast of Parks and Recreation. Oh yeah. Man, that's a lot of good people in hang out one whole bunch. Nice. I like it. So it's a big group. But yeah, we've got our Geraldine. Hello from Geraldine and Peter.
Morning. Geraldine and Peter.
Nice to have you with us. Ruth, what about you? Is there someone you'd like to meet or hang out with or have a coffee with who is dead or alive, fictional or real? Anyone on your mind? Oh no, she's frozen again. I want to know. This maybe she's building up suspense. What about?
I felt she had been in that pose for a long time.
We've got one from Jay. He wants to. Who do you want to meet on your thing?
I wanted to meet my future self.
He wanted to meet his future self.
Could be scary. Or could be really encouraging.
No, I'm sure for Jay it'll be very, very exciting.
You might have some great advice.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
I like
that. Yeah. Anyone you'd like to meet? She's having a thing.
What about you guys?
Yeah. I think mine could be quite eclectic, and I don't think it would make a great party. But I think kind of like for the cast party, I did laugh a lot at Bill Bailey kind of in Limbo Land. And so I just think, it would be good for the party element. I love Bill Bailey. He's very strange but funny. The Queen, I got a lot of respect for the Queen. She's still going strong into her 90s and hasn't basically, as far as I can see, put a foot wrong, and she just loves Jesus as well. So the Queen, I would have to behave myself, and the party may not be very raucous, which may not be a great party. So we might have to ditch her, but I think at least it would be good.
I think it's a great combination.
It's like having your parents there. You know, there's a bit of the party that's sensible, but then they have to go home early, and then it can get a bit more fun.
Sometimes I feel like we should have a bit of a party where you're staying, and a bit of a party, that goes on later.
You want the people who are kind of early on, like the people who bring the kudos and like the fantastic to have you here, red carpet people early on, and then thanks, you can all go home now. We're just going to have a mosh pit and bring a load of crazy people in halfway through.
Well, I'm similar. So I kind of, and I know obviously he's not around anymore, but I would have really loved to have spent some time with Robin Williams. And I just think he was just so phenomenal in his kind of you know, in the way he brought humour and how he acted, but also how he kind of worked with people and treated people was lovely. So I would have liked to have worked with him and not worked with him. Well, I would have liked to work with him actually. Yeah, I would have liked to have sat with him and talked for a long time. But I also, and I'm not really a very sporty, as we all know, but I would quite like to meet Alison Becker and his wife. I think that
he lives up the road.
yeah,
Let's get him in.
They only live local, but I think I read an article that his wife wrote about how she kind of came to be a follower of Jesus, and it was very, very moving. So if anyone knows how I can meet Alison Becker's wife, I would love to have coffee with her.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Amazing.
Let's see if the internet can bring people together.
Yeah. Anne's got a comment on the Queen coming to the party.
So she thinks the Queen would know how to party.
I think she does.
Well, the food would be fantastic.
The food would be good.
We'd have the right number of knives and forks. I'm sure about that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I'd like to see you standing next to her because I think she's quite short now and you're quite tall. So it would be quite funny to see the combination. We've got Mike Head. Ruth. So Ruth is behind the scenes now.
She's gone to the other side.
She's keeping us apart. But she did private message saying that she'd like to meet Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a brilliant brilliant choice. She sounded like an amazing woman
that's
and
a very
very
good
funny
shout.
as well.
Couple more hellos.
Hello, Mike. Nice to have you with us. Morning, Kathy. Nice to see you. What about you, Dave?
For me, so many people. Well, obviously, if you've ever heard any of my talks, C.S. Lewis and Tim Keller are both going to be at my party.
Wow, that's going to be a fun one.
You would have some really big, deep conversations. I don't think there would be much partying.
Now, I'm not sure too many moves will be busted
it would be
out.
like,
That would be a good chat.
You guys will be in a corner talking.
I'll be just listening.
Yeah, there'd just be deep theological discussion.
In my head, it's, leather wingbacks by a fire, sipping whiskey and chatting. That's my kind of party.
Nice. That's how the Vickers do it, people. That's how the Vickers do it.
I actually did.
Party. That's the point.
I almost met Tim Keller once. I was at an event that he was speaking at, and it was it was the closest I get to celebrity. So walking past him, I kind of accidentally locked eyes with him, and then we had this weird moment where he's like, "Who are you?" And I'm just kind of I'm aware I'm looking, and I'm also aware I'm not looking away. And then it was just awkward, and I moved on. And that's
were you transfixed on Tim Keller's face?
You know what?
Excited.
He's a lot taller than you think. He's a tall man. Always thought he shot somebody.
He went to his church once in New York.
Yeah, I kind of turned up quite late because I missed the train or something like that, or I went 3 stops into Brooklyn. I don't know where I was, and they don't tell you who's speaking. And I walked in, and he was just stepping up to speak. I was like, oh yeah, it was quite kind of cozy, and he obviously has a few sites, but then at the end he just kind of disappeared off, and then there was I had to talk to some regular New Yorkers, which was just okay.
Well,
that was our close encounters with Tim Keller section.
Yeah. Well, no, Mike Headley's had a closer encounter.
He has.
Close encounter as well. So, by the way, Tim Keller is he's a theologian. He was a pastor in New York, and Dave is a bit of a fanboy. He's a big fan, but he goes on holiday to the Lake District. Tim Keller and Mike. Yeah. Mike went to church in Ambleside, I think, and Tim Keller was preaching just in this little church. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Tim Keller was randomly preaching at a church in the lakes we went to on our honeymoon. It's not even fair.
That's amazing. Oh, I love it.
So good.
I want to be happy for you, Mike, but
he's just jealous.
So,
Dave, what's happening today?
What is happening today? We're doing our summer of storytelling, so we are going to be hearing a chat that you had with Nigel and Ruth about their friendship over the last 10 years and how it helped Nigel to come to faith. It's a really good chat, so that's later on. We're going to be opening our Bibles, which is good, and looking at, in this whole summer of storytelling, as well as hearing people's stories, we're looking at how we can tell a better story with our own lives.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at the cast of our lives and how we can foster better relationships and use relational dynamics to live better lives.
Amazing. We've got some worship, prayer, and a quiz. So just get those fingers ready. Little fingers ready.
Quiz is coming very soon.
Also, Dave, there's some really exciting stuff happening at Storyhouse, at the church and the cafe. Just I think we need to plug it before and after to catch the most amount of people.
It's an exciting season coming up, guys. I'm excited for like the next season, the next few chapters.
Totally.
Yes.
We're on the verge of just opening the page.
Yeah. Like we are growing and changing, and we have new opportunities, and it is so exciting. So very, very soon we'll be able to announce our big news for September about where we'll be meeting. But we've got some really awesome jobs for people who would like to come and join us as part of the community. So we've got 2 jobs in the cafe. So they're for barista evangelists. We've got one for an assistant manager. So you get a bit of responsibility. It's a great space to kind of train in leadership, in like kind of spiritually and practically, and make great coffees. So do join. That's a full-time job. And then we've got a part-time barista job as well, and a youth worker job. Now there's loads, which is awesome. So there's we are really passionate about seeing teenagers come to know Jesus and walk with him. And there aren't many opportunities in Crosby for that at the moment. And so Storyhouse is going to become a youth hub for lots of the local churches in Crosby, which is really exciting. And we need a youth worker who is up for starting something new. So someone who's got ideas, creative. Totally. We will be cheering you on, working
and praying for you loads.
And praying for you loads. And like, also, it could be you want to work part-time as a youth worker. It could be you want to be a youth worker barista. You could like do both and get a full-time job, and so be in the cafe, learn to make coffees, and do cool youth work stuff.
We are making connections. It's awesome, isn't it? With schools and other churches around, and it's I'm looking forward to seeing the cafe opportunities grow spiritually, and inviting young people back in, to kind of like engage and
totally.
connect.
So if you love Jesus and you love coffee, you need to come and join us. And if you don't need a job,
if you like tea, you're okay.
Do you know what? If you love Jesus and you don't know anything about coffee, that's still okay. All right?
It's still okay.
Yeah, there is one part of that's more important than the other.
Loving Jesus.
You can join us because we're the less connoisseurs of it all, but we're properly all about Jesus. So.
Yeah. And even if you don't need a job, you can join us on Sundays. Yeah. So, there are openings. There's space for you.
And we're praying for you if you are a musician and you just want to be a great worshipper and help others to enter into the presence of God, then contact us, because we would love to come and you just work alongside us or, help us. We're really up for it.
I'm starting small on this one, the worship area. So it would be fantastic for someone like Tim Hughes to just join us and take over.
He's got his own church.
My faith is small, and I'm at the level of the lentil shaker. So if you've got the faith to shake a lentil shaker with a bit of rhythm, that's the level that we're at.
But if you're a drummer, that would also be lovely.
Yeah.
Sit with me and Libby.
Or bass. And I would like to learn the bass, but I am, getting on a bit. So I feel like
I think
young people.
You could rock the bass. But we'll even buy a shaky egg if someone's up for it. But do come and join in. We're a growing church. We're new. We're just trying to start something fresh and exciting in Crosby for people who haven't been to church for a long time, who are looking for somewhere to call home, or don't even know Jesus. You are all welcome. So it's an exciting time. And if you can think of someone you think would be awesome to come and join us in the team at Storyhouse, then do send them the link. Get them to get in touch, contact us, and we can have a chat about it. There's a lot of potential for growth. If you want to get involved in church ministry in any way, come and join us, and we'll support you and help you discover your calling as well, because we're really passionate about that. So do come and join us. So that's a big plug.
That's our big plug.
That is our big. We'll keep talking about that. We've got Laura's with us. Good morning, Laura.
Morning, Laura.
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. So I think, on that note, talking about what God is doing and the next season, I think it'd be great for us to have a song of worship.
That'd be good.
To kind of hand that over to God. And it's all about kind of expectancy of what God can do. So we're going to hand over to the wonderful P and Libby to lead us into the presence of God.
Yeah, great. We've been at the New Life conference at Quinta this week. It's just been so much fun, and there was lots of sun and just really encouraged, and it was just great to worship with loads of people together, singing out praise to the Lord. But I was really reminded on one of the seminars about identity. You know, so many people questioning identity, confused about their identity. The searches for identity on social media, Google, have just been gone up exponentially, and we have got an identity in Jesus, and that identity, belonging, and purpose that we learned about last term from Ephesians is so kind of incredible. And part of that is about being joined with other people in worship, in actually being the people that God created us to be worshippers. When we do that, we actually fulfill the being that we were created to be, and it's a wonderful place. So just want to encourage you to join with us. We've got Be Lifted Up, and we're going to sing The Stand, and we're going to sing them again later at the picnic together. So just this is a bit of a warm-up. Yeah,
this is your practice one. Yeah.
Be lifted up, be lifted up, as we bow down. Be lifted up, be lifted up, be lifted up, as we bow down. Be lifted up. Let the heavens rejoice, let the nations be glad, let the whole earth tremble, for you are God. Come and worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness, as we bow down. Be lifted up, as we bow down. Be lifted up, be lifted up, be lifted up, as we bow down. Be lifted up, be lifted up, be lifted up, as we bow down. Be lifted up. Let the heavens rejoice, let the nations be glad, let the whole earth tremble, for you are God. Come and worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness, as we bow down. Be lifted up, as we bow down. Be lifted up. Used to before creation, eternity in your hand. You spoke the earth into motion, my soul now to stand. You stood before my failure, carried the cross for my shame. My sin weighed upon your shoulders, my soul now to stand. What can I do but offer this heart, oh God, completely to you? So I walk upon salvation, your spirit alive in me, my life to declare your promise, my soul now to stand.
So what can I say? Sorry, I've lost my notes.
What can I do but offer this heart, oh God, completely to you? So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. All I am is yours. All I am is yours. Amen. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you
Amazing.
both.
I love that song at the end.
Yeah.
So good.
Mhm.
The stands. Yeah. So yeah, this is all about joining in kind of as a family and worshiping God. And there's so many different ways we can worship God. And also we can have fun and worship God as well.
Yeah, and then that's
Fun is a really important part. And so
Yeah.
as we continue this theme of the summer of storytelling, we have a little quiz to kind of tee up the talk and the interview, and it's all about the kind of supporting roles and different characters in some films. And so like there's some great kind of epic kind of trilogies and series of films, and they've got huge casts, so it's not just about one main character, it's about all the different people that interact. So hopefully you've got your fingers ready. What we've got is some pictures, and what I need you guys to do is in the chat name as many characters as you can in these pictures from these films.
Okay.
So the first one, there's a lot of characters to name, but I think there's something for everyone in this first one.
So this is quick fire quiz. Just shoot off each character name as you know them.
Definitely.
Right.
And if you get it right, you get glory. There's no prize, just the pride of
satisfaction
being right.
of being right.
And it depends how competitive you are as how much that means.
So we're ready for this first one?
Right.
Okay, so name as many characters as you can from this picture. Okay.
Right. 1 second. Okay. Hopefully you can tell. Oh, our faces. We need to make that bigger.
There we go.
There we go.
There we are.
Okay, so we've got quite a few characters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we've put the Chambos backstage because Jay is a bit of a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure he could name as many of these as he could. Different films, different series even.
Yeah.
Let's see how well you do.
So there's 13 characters in total. So some are easier than others. But yeah, we want to see, what do you guys think? Who are the characters? Hopefully, Dave, do you recognise some of them?
All but one, which I'm going to look up now because I know you don't have all the answers.
I was trusting. Okay, let's see. We're just waiting. There's a bit of a time delay often with the answers coming up, so we shall have a look. But yeah, what we want to see is any names of any of the characters in these pictures. Who are the characters?
Oh, Pete and Libby, you're putting it in the private chat. But we'll allow it. Let's see if so they put it in the private chat, but what we've got is
Jabba the Hutt,
which is right.
Yes.
Ray, which is right.
Yeah.
BB-8.
Yeah.
We've got Chewbacca.
Yeah.
We've got Yoda.
Yeah.
C-3PO.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is Obi-Wan Kenobi there?
Mandalorian, which I'm going to allow, but anyone else who wants to elaborate on that?
Okay.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yep. Ewan McGregor. So here we go. Ruth, do you want them all at once? Just quick fire as many as you can.
Yeah.
Okay, so Headleys. Yoda,
Leia.
Princess Leia, BB-8, Jabba the Hutt, Chewbacca, C-3PO. Yep, they're all there.
Oh, we've got Rich Kylo Ren.
Nice. Yeah, nice. There we go, bottom right.
We've still got a few missing.
Mm-hmm. So, trying to remember who we've had. We've had Rey, we've had BB-8. We've not had Princess Leia yet. We've got that now. Baby Yoda, Baby
yes.
Yoda, yeah. Bonus points if you know his name. Proper geek points there.
I love Baby Yoda. I think he's really cute.
The one that I didn't know is I had to look up was second from top right.
Yeah.
I had to look those what they're called up. Little creatures.
Oh, third from top right.
Whoa! Look at Ruth here.
Okay.
Whoa!
So she's done it in order as well.
She has.
Okay, Rey.
Right. Yes. BB-8. Yes. Finn. Yes. Chewbacca. Yes. Porgs. Yes. That's the one I couldn't remember.
I think the Porgs are cute.
Yeah. C-3PO. Yep. Yoda. Yep. Yoda. Princess Leia. Organa. Well done. Full name. Amazing. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yep. Mando. Din Djarin. There we go. Full on geek points. Well done, Ruth. Grogu, Jabba the Hutt, and Kylo Ren.
Ruth, you get a gold star. That is amazing.
That's pretty epic.
Amazing. Okay. Well
ready
done, guys. Next one.
Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next slide.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Can you name all 7 dwarfs? There's 7. Obviously, we know Snow White. What are the names of all the 7 dwarves? You could just put one in. You don't have to list them all straight away.
You don't have to have them all. Yeah, just one at a time is absolutely fine.
But there are 7. I can confirm. There are 7 names we're looking for.
Yeah. Should we name some that aren't dwarfs?
Okay. What would you say?
Oh no, I was about to name some that were.
Moody.
Yeah, Moody.
Moody dwarf.
Moody dwarf. Brainy. Brainy's not there.
Selfish dwarf. He's not there.
Selfie the dwarf.
Selfie the dwarf.
He's just got a selfie stick.
Yeah. Hairy dwarf. That's not one. So yeah, okay.
Clumsy.
Oh, morning, Jackie. We're just naming
morning,
the dwarfs.
Jackie. We're naming dwarfs. Obviously.
If you know any of the 7 dwarfs' names, do pop them down. There's a little delay here. Oh, we've got hello.
Here we go from the Headleys. Sleepy, Grumpy, Happy, Doc, Dopey, and Bashful.
That's 6.
That's 6. So we're only missing 1.
Libby's got some. Libby's got the other one.
Oh, Libby has got Happy, Doc, and Dopey.
Yeah. And further up, she's got the other one.
Sneezy.
Yes, it's Sneezy.
There
Libby
we go.
had it
Libby
first.
had it. There we go.
Yeah.
Grumpy, Sneezy.
Amazing. Well done, guys.
Well done.
Okay.
That's all 7 dwarfs.
Next one.
Okay.
Next one.
Right, here we go.
Ready?
Next one.
Ooh. Oh no, we've done that one. Sorry.
We've done that one.
Okay. Yeah. Who are these characters from In the Night Garden? I had to research this, but
this is not normal TV watching for you and me.
No. Who are these characters in the Night Garden? Can you name them? Like I knew one of them straight away, but I don't know the others. But I think Sam said the kids were rewatching In the Night Garden, so that's what made me think of it.
Okay. Are we including those things in the background?
Yeah.
I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. They come together.
Okay.
So yeah. What would you call them, Dave? Do you know any suggestions?
Foot face explosion. Tiny robot.
Ruth's got a guess.
Okay, Ruth has got. I feel like one must be Iggle Piggle.
Yes, it is. One is Iggle Piggle. Is the blue one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. So what have we got? Macca Pat. Yeah, and Upsy Daisy. Yeah, and then it's the 3 at the back. Yeah, Rich knows.
Here's the Headleys.
The Tumble Boot. Yeah, it's the
Tumbleboos.
Tumly Bobs, I think they're called.
Excellent,
Excellent,
Smiley's
guys.
got in there with Macca and Kathy Macca.
Amazing.
And that
excellent knowledge.
To me, that just looks like a cat has walked across the keyboard.
Okay, right. Next picture.
Tumbleboos. Oh, there's another one. Oh, exciting. Okay, right.
Minky. Oh my goodness, these names. Okay.
Okay.
Can you name the characters in this picture?
Okay, we've got some Avengers here. Which Avengers have we got on screen?
Avengers.
I love it when it's out of time.
Yeah.
So we put that up and Headley say Iggle Piggle.
Yeah.
Iggle Piggle's not.
I think it's hard to know how to spell their names. So
yeah.
who are the characters we've got in this picture? Do you recognize any of them? The Avengers is all about the relationship.
It's all about
they
the
have.
cast. Actually, it's a great example because it is all
Yeah,
about the cast.
it
Which is what
totally
we're talking about today.
And they all work together, which is amazing. Can't do Marvel. It's all right, Sam. When the kids are older, you'll get Marvel.
Yeah. They're just not quite old enough
They're
yet.
not quite old enough yet, but you'll
Soon
get there.
you will have no choice.
Yeah. So yeah, who can you name any of the characters in this picture? So what have we got here?
Here we go.
Captain America. Yes. Iron Man. Yes.
Hawkeye.
Good
yes.
one.
Hulk. Yep. Black Widow and Thor. Got them all.
Well done.
Slam dunk.
Who's your favourite in that picture?
In that picture,
Toby says,
Toby says,
well done,
Toby.
Toby.
Excellent. That's really good. Thor, but actually Thor from later films, not Thor in these ones, because he gets more interesting.
Thor is fun. Yeah.
Biggest imposter's got to be Hawkeye.
Yeah,
they've all got incredible powers. He can just shoot a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Oh, Jacob Crichton. This is another Crichton that we don't know.
All of the Crichtons. This is great.
Nice.
Good job there.
Excellent.
And Abigail knows Captain America and Iron Man. Well done, Abigail.
Oh,
awesome.
Good guessing. Excellent, guys. Okay. So yeah, this is just a little heads up. So this is what we've been talking about. All these films, they're famous for all the different people. It's not about like one special person.
Have you got one more?
Awesome. No, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, no, there is one more.
Oh, sorry, one more. I thought there was one more.
Yeah, there is one more.
We had one more.
Okay. Who is this favourite companion? What is the name of this?
Who is this supporting character?
Yeah, very important supporting character in a film, a series of films. What is this owl's name?
What is the name of the owl?
Yeah, what's the name of the owl? And it is the original owl. It's not just a picture of an owl. This is the owl that acted in many films.
And if you know these stories, you'll know how important this small supporting character is.
Yes.
Played some very important role.
Very important. Yay, Ellie.
There we go. Smiley's
Hedwig.
in there. Hedwig.
It's Harry Potter's owl, Hedwig, because every
Excellent.
wizard and witch has an owl.
Yes.
Has a pet, don't they? Magical creature.
Magical
Excellent.
creature.
So
Well
yeah,
done.
Hedwig
Fantastic.
was important. Well done, guys. Great knowledge.
Mhm.
Okay, so what's next?
What is? Well,
I don't know.
throughout the summer, we're looking at how listening to people's stories and also looking at how we can tell better stories of our lives. And today we're looking at the supporting cast, all of the people around us, and relationships and how we can have better relationships and we can lead to better lives. And what better way to start that than to look at a great friendship. So during the week, Lizzie had Nigel and Ruth over to the cafe.
Yeah, we hung out. It was brilliant.
Had a good old chat all about their friendship, which has lasted for 10 years, which is amazing, and played a significant part in Nigel coming to faith. So we've got an interview with the two of them now talking all about their friendship to help us think about friendships and how we can live better lives, be good friends, have good friends, all of that stuff.
Amazing.
So without further ado, it's Nigel.
In Storyhouse coffee shop upstairs with Ruth and Nigel, which is lovely. I'm on the comfy chair. I've done really well out of this. These guys are on the hardwood chairs, and I've got the comfy sofa chair, which is brilliant. But what's great is Ruth and Nigel have agreed to kind of join me this evening, and we're just going to chat a bit about their friendship, because friendship is such a significant thing in all our lives. And this Sunday we're talking about the different relationships that we have. So Ruth and Nigel, how long have you guys known each other?
I think it's about 10 and a half years now.
Wow.
Yeah, we were quite surprised. I said the other day, we must have known each other about 5 or 6 years. And Ruth went, no, it's been about 10. That's when I was at uni and stuff. It's
time goes quite quickly, doesn't it?
It does,
It's like, that's a significant length of time. And how did you meet? How did you guys meet?
When I came to university back 2010 must have been, I did the usual look around for interesting new things to try out, and archery didn't stick, sadly. But I wanted to try out the thing called role-play gaming, because I'd heard of Dungeons and Dragons, and my mother disapproved, and I wanted to know why. It turned out it's both harmless and a lot of fun. But I joined a local club, and Nigel, I think, joined the same year or at a similar time. I think you also knew. But that was Wednesday afternoons, every Wednesday during term time, and eventually spend enough time around someone.
Yeah.
Work out whether you get along.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, brilliant. Like, I've never done role play games, but I know friends that do it, and yeah, it sounds a lot of fun. Which is brilliant.
Interestingly enough, one of the first reasons Scott speaking was we were gaming together and stuff, but we were playing a game called Witch Hunt, which is a very biblical theme. And a date scenario used to have a Bible quotation at the start, and I thought I'd love to be able to do that. And Ruth went, "Oh, you should try BibleGateway.com, yeah." And that's how I discovered my first Bible site.
Really?
Yeah,
so it was
really.
Pre-playing the game. Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I was thinking maybe if I give him his own access to the Bible, he'll read other bits of the Bible.
Yeah, genius. Oh, that's so good. So how, like, when you met Ruth, she was a Christian, but you weren't a Christian.
That's correct.
So what did you think about the fact that Ruth was a Christian?
I think initially, well, I got to know her as a person, yeah, and so the faith thing didn't really matter to me. Though I would say, if I look back at my opinions at that time, I was probably a little bit more kind of on edge, and a little bit more careful about what I said around her and stuff, because oh, she's a Christian, you know, she's going to take certain things offensively, and she's going to need to be handled in a certain way and stuff. Yeah. Then I realised, of course.
Do you feel that he did that, Ruth? Like,
yeah, I mean, there were a mixed group in the club that some people didn't care, and other people would go, "Wait, she's a Christian. I shouldn't say those words,"
Yeah.
or sort of, "I should apologise after saying them."
Yeah, when Dave was training to be a vicar, people in the office where he worked would swear and then apologise afterwards, because it was like, "Oh, he's training to be a vicar." So yeah, so you tried to be kind of well behaved and well spoken around her.
But
yeah.
I mean, I think it's what sort of led me to my faith. Really, was that just the example she set and the way she lived, and the sort of approach she had to living and the approach she had to people and stuff really impressed me. Really made me sort of think about, you know, what values do I put in my own life and what sort of standards do I hold myself to and stuff. And I think that was what sort of got me interested in sort of talking to her about sort of her faith, really.
So cool. And how did you find it, like, talking to Nigel about faith stuff and sharing your faith and the fact you were a Christian?
It's one of those things, is that I don't have a plan. So with my friends, I don't go, "Right, I'm going to make you a Christian, and here is how." I love my friends, and I very much hope that they all become Christians eventually, because this is great, and then I get to spend eternity with them, which is even better. But there's never like a strategy. I did find it was easier to reference things like church and Christian Union and things I did in my daily life to, like, that identified me as a Christian. It was harder to bring up topics that are slightly more bringing it to the other person, or sort of going into detail about what I believe, or trying to challenge that. And I think certainly I didn't want to push it. I think definitely with Nigel early on, like, I got the general vibe of, I guess, sort of a distrust of sort of kind of the institutional Christianity and the idea of, right, go forth and make converts. So sort of if I'm the sort of person who turns up every day going, "Hello, friend, here is a Bible verse. What do you think? Have you considered the state of your mortal soul today?" Then then I would have driven him away very quickly. But so I think a lot of it was a case of praying about it and trying to kind of be aware of opportunities, being watchful for a time when I could talk about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like Nigel mentioned, sort of after a certain amount of time, of a lot of small conversations and sort of little things that came up, like during group conversations generally, he started asking questions, and then that suddenly things were easier because when he initiated, I didn't feel as much that I had to be I suppose I didn't need to worry as much about pushing it or coming across as pushy, because this was a conversation he wanted rather than the conversation I was forcing on him.
I think a lot of people, like, there's that traditional way of evangelism when people feel like they're being preached at, and that just
Street
like
pamphlets.
this kind of street preachery type, and that just most people like really switch off. But for you guys, it was a conversation in their relationship.
In fact, I'd go so far as to say if Ruth had taken that sort of preachy sort of approach, she'd have lost me. She's right. I do have like a massive suspicion of institutionalized religion and stuff, and it was a really hard barrier for me to overcome, but not being sort of pressured and being challenged all the time, just being encouraged and sort of brought along and, you know, kind of wrapped up in that faith. It was amazing.
So cool.
I think actually, like, during a lot of the time that I now know Nigel was doing a lot of deep thinking, I was worrying a lot about whether I was being a good enough Christian or a strong enough witness, because I felt like I was being so shy, and sort of all around me there were people going, no, sort of like find the opportunities, make them, like, you should be sharing the gospel twice a week. No, I don't think anyone specifically said that.
Like a number,
you know, quite often, particularly with Christian Union, because they're aware there's a short student window. There's a lot of go out and get and find the opportunities. And I was sort of, am I doing enough? Should I be pushing more? But it turned out, God was using me sort of at the point that I that I was able to do.
And it's just being the person that you are, you know, like you've been a Christian for a long time, and it impacts like so many parts of your life. And I think you probably didn't even realize, just like, imagine for Nigel, you probably showed up a lot, like the way Ruth, or the decisions she made, or the way she talked about stuff that you wouldn't eat, that were just probably natural to you, but that speaks volumes as well. And it's all about relationship. It's not like, I'm not going to tick Nigel off the list like work my way through, but it was based on relationship.
I mean, we had something that broke down because I mean, you know, now we've known each other for a long time, we've come to sort of realise like how much we've got in common. Obviously, apart from our faith, which is like obviously a major thing. But you know, we've got so much in common. But you know, it was, you know, a friendship developed, and it was a friendship that then led to like a respect for the person she was, and that person she was a large part of that was faith. And, you know, so
cool.
So it was, you know, very impressive.
And so how, like Nigel, like a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, whenever that was, like you came to Alpha in the cafe, which was amazing. I mean, you were coming in for your lattes with your mum for a while before, and you've become part of Storyhouse Church, and your faith has grown. And so how has your relationship kind of changed or grown, like as you've come to faith, like, and what you talk about and stuff?
I mean, we had like quite sort of deep conversations, but you know, we really talk about sort of the big things now. I think we're not afraid to, as we said when we first going, we were afraid to sort of discuss those big subjects. Well, we're not now, and that's really great, because it's like I really value that support of fellow Christians. I think I value with support anyway, but you know, as a sort of fellow Christian, it's really really good. But I think that I don't think you can really get a bond that you can get than when you worship together. So, for example, I feel very comfortable praying with Ruth. We do sort of Bible study together. You know, we sort of share our faith, and we share the practical elements of our faith. Yeah, and I think that's a very special bond. I think that's a bond you can't get from any other sort of area of your life. And don't get me wrong, I think you can be great friends with people. Yeah, but I think that shared faith is a special connection. Yeah, it's one of my closest friends now.
It's amazing. And Ruth knows a lot about the Bible. In our Wednesday night zines throughout lockdown, we have the after party, don't we, for the people who can stay on and don't need to go to bed. And Ruth's knowledge of the Bible is amazing. So we've all learned lots from her. So it's been great.
It was twice, but apparently it's made an impression.
Oh, definitely. So yeah. No, it's amazing.
Although, I think so. A fair bit of that I did pick up sort of pre-actually being a Christian, because I was a church kid. So you did Sunday school, you learn the broad strokes.
You retained it though, which is better than a lot of us.
See, I think it's an amazing thing as well, the way faith has brought us together, in the fact that we've got completely different lifestyles, we've got completely different backgrounds. Yeah. Obviously we've got the role playing that's brought us together, and we have got a lot of things in common, with literature and sort of movies and stuff like that. But
apparently I haven't seen half of.
You haven't seen? No, no. One of my plans is when she gets her job in Liverpool and comes back properly,
which of course she will.
Which of course she will. Is I'm going to force her to watch. I'm going to force her to watch loads of movies. I'm going to catch her up.
Yeah, educate her. Yeah, you can do a cultural exchange. Thank you so much, guys. And it's been great. It's been great to meet Ruth, because obviously we met Nigel and we heard about Ruth, and then you came to do your masters in Liverpool, and so to finally meet the Ruth who was your Christian friend for so many years.
His church as well.
I honestly say, if it hadn't been for Ruth, I doubt I'd come to faith, and I really do think. Actually,
it's embarrassed, Ruth.
But honestly,
it's significant. Yeah. That's amazing.
And that's one of the most significant things in my life. So by default, she's one of the most significant people in it. So there you go. I've done my bit and embarrassed you.
It's emotional. No, we all love Ruth. She's amazing. Thanks so much for chatting to me. We've just had Domino's pizza, so we've done very well this evening. It's been awesome.
Oh, delicious.
And Ruth made brownies, so we're going to have a great time now. But enjoy the rest of the service, and thank you so much, guys. You're amazing.
Oh, wasn't that awesome to hear? Just how a simple friendship between two people can have such a profound effect on their lives. And, the last year and a half, to 2 years, has been so weird for relationships. We've been isolated. We've been forced to communicate online. But we've also, some people have reforged relationships, reshaped them, and really relationships are amongst the most important formative forces that we have in our lives. And throughout this summer we are listening to people's stories like Nigel and Ruth's, and we are also looking at how to tell a better story with our own lives. And our stories are about the cast. They're about the ensemble that we are part of, and that stuff really, really matters. And actually, as over the last kind of few weeks, as we've been looking more into story structure and listening to actors and actresses and directors talk about their craft, one thing that keeps coming up time and time again, which I found really fascinating, is just the amount of effort that goes into casting. So we were watching the Friends reunion, and they were talking about the fact that they cast two of the members of Friends really early on, but then they were really struggling to find the right people for the other roles, and they were ready to give up on it. And then we watched, for the first time, we're watching some 80s and 90s classic films at the moment. We watched Primal Fear the other day. And we always go on to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, afterwards and look up trivia about the film afterwards if we've enjoyed it. We enjoyed this one, so we looked it up, found out it was Edward Norton's first role, his first big role in cinema. And that before they cast him, they actually had auditions for over 2,000 actors before they found the right one. And then again, watching an interview just last night with John Krasinski, who played Jim, one of the main characters in the American version of the office. And, you know, as he was telling his story, you know, he was getting cast right at the end of a process where they'd had a whole round of casting and couldn't find the right gym. And I'd never appreciated just how much weight that people in theatre and in cinema put on casting. It seems to be the one job that they put the most care and attention to detail into. So you might think it would go into the special effects or the cameras that they use or the budget or, you know, the marketing or whatever. It's not. It's making sure that the right people are in this. And there's a lesson too for that in us, in how we live our own stories. You know, who is it that we are affected by and who is it that's around us? So if we take this into the story of our lives, the moment when we found out just how important it was, who it was that was around us in our life, was when we were going through our period of multiple miscarriages, and we're going through just this incredible trauma and grief, and it was really, really hard. And it was during this time that we found out about this kind of model of relationships. It's like this ripple effect, whereby the people who are closest to a trauma, something really difficult, are the ones who get affected most by it. And then as they get further and further from it, they get less and less affected by it. And that means that the people who are closest to the trauma are also the ones who should be supporting you the most. So we were right in the middle of this trauma. And so we needed really close friends who were supporting us. And it was during that time that we really discovered who our close friends were. And actually we forged some of our life's greatest and strongest friendships in that time. But what we also discovered was those people who were giving a lot to us but not receiving anything in return, because we were in no position to give at that time, needed people who were giving to them and supporting them. And so it goes in life that we all need people who are supporting us in order that we can be strengthened to live our lives and support other people. So in our lives, we will have people who we are supporting and loving and we give a lot to. And then we'll have other people who give a lot to us. And in a really strong friendship, a good friendship, there will be a lot of back and forth where we support one another. And it is properly right that there are some people in our lives that we are giving to. So if you've got a senior role in an organization, it is right that you are giving to those who are beneath you. Or if you are a parent, it is right that you are giving a lot to your children and not necessarily getting a lot in return. That's kind of how it works. You know, doubly so if that child is a baby or a toddler who doesn't yet know how to give back. But it shouldn't be that way in friendships. Friendships should be a two-way street, mutual support and mutual upholding. And then there's the power of relationships to change who we are as people. Now, we covered this in previous weeks, but there's a bit of a famous saying that you are the average of the 5 people closest to you. Now, that's not scientific, but there have been various studies done on that effect, and they found that you're not just the average of the people who are closest to you, but also you are massively affected by friends of friends. That's how connected we are as human beings, that a change in the life of someone who is a friend of your friend, even if you don't know them, will affect how you live. We are community beings, and the effects of the people who are closest to us are profound. And if you look around, the people around you, are they people you want to become like? Because you are becoming like them, whether you like that or not. And this is something that even the Bible talks about. So I'm going to hit you with 3 bits of wisdom from Proverbs. These come from Proverbs 12, 13, and 18. So the first one, the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. So this is straight from the Bible, advising what it is we're talking about today. Choose your friends carefully, because if you choose badly, your life will go in a bad direction. Or how about this one? Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. So if you have friends with wise people, then you yourself will become wise and you will make good decisions. And the reverse is also true. Or how about this one? One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother, which is what we've just been talking about. What you want from a friend is someone who is reliable, who is there when it's good and when it's harm. And when it's hard. And actually, a good friend is even more reliable than a blood relative. So if we put all of that together, we come up with the fact that all relationships, but especially our most intimate relationships, our closest friendships, affect our strength, our ability to get through the day, our joy, our happiness, and who it is that we are becoming. And so, as the Bible itself says, it's worth giving that some thought. And whenever I bring up this idea with people, they don't like it. They don't think it sounds very Christian. They think, that's not the kind of thing that Jesus would do. Surely it's very exclusive. It doesn't seem fair or right. But one of the things that I find, one of the moments in Jesus' life that I find endlessly fascinating, and when we get to heaven, people say, I'm going to ask God about this or that or the other, and it's usually to do with creation or dinosaurs or something like that, or why there's their suffering or those kind of things. For me, my number one question for Jesus when I get to see him face to face is, why did you pick those 12? His 12 disciples, on the face of it, seemed so random and an odd bunch to choose, but we know he was incredibly careful about that decision. When he came to the moment of choosing the 12, his inner circle, those who would be closest to him, he'd spent a good amount of time with a larger group of people, seeing them in conversation, seeing them at leisure, seeing them at work. He'd given them tasks to do to see how they could do it. And then he went up a mountain and spent a night in prayer, came down that mountain in the morning and chose the 12. So for whatever reason he had for picking that inner circle, he gave it a lot of thought. And then another example of Jesus excluding someone on this basis is the rich young ruler. This guy comes to him, he has everything, he has wealth, he's got ability, he's got connections, he's like the perfect person you would want in your church. But Jesus says to him, first go and sell everything you have and then come and follow me. And this rich young ruler isn't up to that. And he walks away sad. And we're told that that makes Jesus sad too. And so Jesus was not about to compromise what his discipleship was about, what his inner circle was about. He wasn't going to say, well, this guy's got a lot going for him. He's got a bit of he's a bit obsessed with money, but it's okay. We're going to overlook that. It's a long journey. He might find his way through. He said, no, I'm not going to compromise what I'm doing here and what I'm about. I'm not going to let someone who loves money more than God into this inner circle. And so when Jesus comes to teach us about how we can leverage these relational dynamics ourselves to live a better life, I think there's no better place to look than John 15, a famous teaching of Jesus called the vine and the branches. And I've actually spent a lot of time in prayer through this passage over time. It's a really great one. There's an awful lot of stuff in it, but we're going to look at it through the angle of friendship and friendship with Jesus. So it's John 15, and we're going to start at verse 12. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that they lay down their lives for their friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know their master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learnt from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. Then the Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. This is my command: love each other. So when we're looking at our relational world, the cast of the story of our lives, who it is, who is around us, and who's in the inner circle, who's not in the inner circle, what we're talking about is love. And Jesus wants us to know that the foundation of our relationship with him and everything he does for us is in love. So if we go back to, you know, our story of when we were going through a trauma and a lot of experience of pain and grief, it was those who were there for us, who practically loved us, who became our inner circle. The friendship, the foundation of that friendship was love, not just sentiment, but people who were actually there, people who actually did things, people who actually helped us, not just those who said the right words, but those who were physically present and those who helped us. And Jesus wants to know that anything he does for us, everything that he calls us to, comes out of this place of love. And his first commandment is to love God and to love our neighbor, you know, whoever it is that may be around us. But that doesn't mean a kind of generic loving all people hippie kind of style way. So if we read verse 14, where it says, "You are my friends if you do what I command." This is one of those teachings of Jesus, again, that really throws people, because that doesn't sound like friendship to our ears. You're only my friend if you do what I tell you to do. You know, that sounds like a terrible friendship. But what Jesus is doing here is connecting our belonging and our behavior. What I've been talking about all along, that our friends, our closest relationships determine how we live, for good or for bad, whether we want that to happen or not. Because we're such relational creatures, we will take on the behavior of those who we are closest to. So Jesus has started off by saying, my love for you is secure and certain. You can be guaranteed of that. Then he invites us to, in his language, abide in him. And abide means to live in, to spend your time in, to give your thought to have your main focus on. And in his case, it is him, it is Jesus. And then if we are doing that, what will happen is we will become like Jesus. You know, it's the thing we say all the time at Storyhouse, to be with Jesus, become like Jesus, and do what Jesus did. Those things are inseparable, and you can see it so clearly in this teaching of Jesus himself here. That if we abide in Jesus, we live in Jesus, we spend time with him, then we are going to become like him and do the kind of things that he did. We will, in his language, obey his commands. So Jesus opens the door to his house, says, come and live here. It says, and then by obeying his commands, what we're doing is we're staying in that house. There's a kind of Christianity, which is a bit of an imitation Christianity, that says you just have to make a decision once for Jesus and then he's got you, and essentially has no other instructions for the rest of your life. But Jesus is like, welcome into this new way of living. And I would like you to stay in this new way of living as well. Like, eternal life is something that begins right now. It is a quality of life and not just a length of life. And Jesus, before all of our other friendships, invites us into friendship with him so that we would become close to him, spend lots of time with him, become like him, and end up doing the kinds of things that he would do had he had our life. And so a friendship with Jesus will start to redefine all the other relationships, because you will start to behave in a certain way. You become part of that inner circle of Jesus, one of his called disciples. And that's one of the things he says here, is not, this wasn't our choice. This was his choice. He called us into his inner circle of disciples. Our place there is secure. So he recommends that we stay there by abiding in him, by doing the kinds of things that he asks us to do. And we know we can trust Jesus because in two different ways in this passage, he shows how Jesus holds nothing back from us. You know, another essential part of friendship, along with love, is also trust. So Jesus assures us that everything he does for us and all he calls us to do comes from a place of love. But he also shows that he has trusted us and invites us to trust him in two ways. One, he says that greater love has no one than to give their life to their friends. Literally, that is the giving of everything. Once you have given your life up, you've held nothing back. You know, if we're kind of just getting to know each other, I might lend you a DVD or something like that. You know, I'm going to trust you with a little bit. I'm just going to give you a little bit of myself. As we become closer friends, I'm going to trust you with things that are a bit more precious to me. And Jesus says, when it comes to what I have, I've held nothing back because I gave my life to you. This moment on the cross where he died for us was just not just this one-off moment, but a one-off moment that shows that Jesus is holding nothing back from us. He has given everything he has to us. And then the other way that he's holding nothing back from us is he says, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. And what he's saying is a servant, someone who works for someone else, just has to do what they have to do because they're employed. So, if Jesus had said, you remain in my love by obeying my commands, the way that an employer would talk to an employee, that would be in the way that says, well, you just have to do it. That's the way things are. I said so you had to do it. He said, I don't treat you like that. I treat you like friends. I've let you in on the decision making, in on what my thoughts are, in on what's actually going on behind the scenes. And so this element of trust, which is just the foundation of friendship, Jesus is saying, I have trusted you with my life, and I have trusted you with the inner secrets. I'll let you know why it is I'm doing what I'm doing, what's going on. I'm not just telling you what to do, but I'm letting you in on the family business. And so Jesus has this inner circle that he has called us to, and he's held nothing back, and he has called us friends. He's held nothing back in terms of his life. He's held nothing back in terms of information. He's shared his whole life with us. But that doesn't make this a cozy club or an exclusive circle, because he says, I've also appointed you to go and bear fruit that will last, eternal fruit. In every one of the Gospels, Jesus commands his disciples to go and make more disciples. The movement of Jesus is outward focused. And Jesus himself got the insult of being called a friend of sinners because he was always at parties and dinners and hanging out with people he wasn't meant to be hanging out with. And from everything we've said so far, it might sound like Jesus is quite exclusivist and he just has this little inner circle. But when an inner circle is healthy, it becomes outward looking. It welcomes a great deal more people to the party. And so it was with Jesus throughout the Gospels, the history of the life of Jesus. We find he doesn't just have this inner circle, but that this inner circle has always got a great big crowd around it. It's always these people who want to meet with Jesus and be with Jesus. And what happens is some of these people in the crowd end up joining that inner circle. And so it is that Jesus is calling us to carry on that way of life, to cultivate a healthy inner circle. Don't trust absolutely everyone. Don't let unhealthy people into the most intimate part of your lives. That part of your life needs to be fostered and taken care of. Jesus had 12, but he also had the 3. Jesus had a group of closest friends, and then a group of close friends, and then acquaintances, and then this crowd around him. That isn't wrong. That's just how human beings work. We're just the way we are wired. We can only have a few very intimate relationships, and then we can have another circle outside of that, of close relationships. And those relationships with Jesus right at the center are the ones that are meant to be fostered and healthy and have good people around you that you admire and you want to become like. But once that inner circle is healthy, and if it's healthy, it won't be inward focused, but it would be hospitable. It will welcome the stranger. It will love enemies even. It will love strangers. It will welcome people in. It will sit with people and make sure, and we find this time again, it's just a rule of being human. When human beings are healthy and when relationships are healthy, they are undefended and they are welcoming and they are warm and they are loving. It's only unhealthy relationships and unhealthy people that are exclusivist and keep people out and are defensive. And when we have Jesus at the center of our life, when he is our primary friendship, what he promises us is that we will have joy. Joy or happiness is not something that we can pursue in its own right. It is a byproduct of the right conditions. When we are in the right place, with the right friendships, the right people around us, when things are going well, then we're joyful, then we're happy. And Jesus is inviting us into that kind of life so that we will be joyful. And in that joy, we will welcome more and more people to come join this inner circle, this friendship with Jesus. So if all of our relationships, but especially our most intimate relationships, affect how we are able to get through life, our joy, and most importantly, who it is we are becoming, make Jesus your primary friendship. Foster good, intimate relationships. And as you do so, become like Jesus, become hospitable, welcome people to the party, love not just your friends, but strangers and even enemies. And so be like Jesus. We're going to end our time together with just a short moment of prayer now. So I'm going to invite Lizzie back and Pete and Libby. And we are going to pray. I'm going to give Pete and Libby a moment to get back. There we go. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Right. So, shall we pray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Just thought I'd before we pray, just read out this from Hebrews 12, which you've probably heard before, is about a great cloud of witnesses, that we could translate it as a great cast of witnesses, people who had incredible faith. And so it says, therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cast of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin and trespass which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance together. Okay, this isn't an individual race. This is a race that we're running together, that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder, the perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. So, yeah, thank you, Lord, that we are surrounded by so many people who have gone before, Lord, who have walked your way, Lord, in faith and in righteousness and in humility and justice, Lord. And Lord, you've set us with one another to run this race, Lord, in friendship and to encourage, Lord, not in competition, Lord, but in encouraging each other. And Lord, so Lord, we just want to do that. Empower us to do it together, in encouraging those who are feeling weak, Lord, and looking to you, Lord, looking to you in front and before, the one who has made the way possible. Lord, we look forward to this journey together. And Lord, we ask that you, for each one of us, Lord, that you would be that pivotal foundation and influence, that the influence above all other influences, Lord. May, Lord, as David said, may we influence each other, Lord, for you, Lord, as our friendships grow. May our trust in each other grows, Lord, and our kind of concern for one another grow, Lord. We just want to pray that as a community, we would be known as those who love one another, as, Lord, you have loved us. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, I'll just pray for anyone who maybe feels quite lonely at the moment, and just in the news, there's so many reports of people still feeling isolated and very disconnected. And Lord, so we lift up to you just anyone who feels on their own. God, you didn't create us to live on our own, and Father, I pray that firstly they would know your presence with them, that they would know a fresh outpouring of your love in their lives, and that when they if feel insecure or alone, that they would just draw deeper from you as the source of love, that they would, rather than run away, just kind of run into you and draw from your love. But also that, Lord, you would place people in their lives who would be good people to be around, and that, Father, you have often, like, sometimes we think there's no one there, and just thinking of like Elijah when he ran away and he was like, there's no one left, there's no Christians left, when often then you do point out there are people in our lives that we haven't noticed. And so I pray for anyone who feels lonely, but for all of us, God, that actually you give us the eyes to see the people you've placed around us, and to recognize who they are and why you've put them in our lives. Is it something, are you calling us to be someone for them, to give or serve in some way, but also is there something we can learn from them as well? So Father, rather than have this idealistic view of what friendship should look like, help us to see who you've placed in our lives, and to kind of honor you in those relationships. Amen.
Oh man! So we're gonna leave that there today because we have got a picnic to get
We've
to.
got to go buy some food.
And we've got to get some food for that picnic. So we're going to be at the back of All Saints and St. Fride's, just off Fourfield Lane, over in Thornton. So you're welcome to join us from 1 o'clock till 3. We'll be there. Just bring something to sit on, bring yourselves and some food, and just for so we can record whoever has come. If you go to storyhouse.community/picnic, pop your details in there so we know everyone who has been. That would be great.
We'll get to hang out. There'll be some games, a bit of worship, and we'll have communion together. It's super chill. And hopefully it won't be too cold in the chill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring a coat, bring an umbrella,
Bring layers.
You never know, it's Britain. Who knows?
It's a British picnic, so you bring everything.
Yeah. And just a reminder again, we've got some amazing jobs going. So if you know someone who'd be good for that job, recommend them. If it's you, apply. And if it's neither of those things, get praying that the right people, the right cast members end up joining our crew and helping us as we see the kingdom grow in Crosby.
Definitely. So join us on Wednesday. We'll be talking about this topic more, about the people in our lives, praying for that, and talking about that together. We'll see you next Sunday.
Or we'll see you in an hour.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys. See you soon.